bit more in the meta, but I definitely think that PSG.LGD, they have their plays with which they can win. You can see that ring of region on that bounty. That's Enigma's actually. That's FY. So FY, he buys a couple of rings, gives it to Bounty Hunter, maybe even a ring of health later on. And that bounty should have a decent laning stage versus the Terrorblade.
Some Lord of the Rings stuff right there, but not going to be able to quite grab that rune in time. Chalice force back.
All right. You're not giving him the bounty, but he's hitting you. So he's taking the gold with that Janada. He's a happy little camper. He's going to go on that offlane still and going to find his farm.
Now, do you think Chalice is going to go off like Zai's Bounty Hunter? Because that was a treat to watch.
That's the thing, though. Bounty Hunters are a hit or miss. You saw Zai's Bounty Hunter, and then you saw S4's Bounty Hunter. S4's Bounty Hunter was bad.
Not that we're calling anyone out here right now.
Not calling S4 out in the middle of Stockholm.
Yeah, no.
Being hated by everyone here.
No.
Not at all. No, but honestly, it's how you play around him. It's how much space you give to him. It's how you set up his lane and how much you contribute on this lane as an Enigma. And you can see FY. He's already here. He's not going to the jungle. He's not farming. He's helping him out, which should make Chalice have a good time. And if he does get those levels early on, if he does get that farm early on, he can do a ton.
I mean, there is a decent amount of lockdown, though, coming out from that lane. Just, you know, the Nightmare alone is enough to kind of slow him down, allow the Terrorblade to run himself away if the need arises, but...
Fade and X-Nova here, trading hits a little bit.
They're just dancing with each other.
This Disruptor came back into the meta. Recently in the CIS scene, they started spamming him quite a lot, but everyone has started picking him up since. One of the builds that I see quite often on the Disruptor is the Thunderstrike maxed out build, which can be really decent versus the Batrider, as he does struggle a little bit against nukes, and this is, I believe, the strongest level 1 nuke right now. And if you level
it has been
up,
for a while, I believe.
Yeah, and if you level it, it's even better. So.
It's a lot of stacks of sticky down there on that gyrocopter. That's got to watch out.
What panel also didn't mention is the glimpse versus the Bane versus the Bat. It's not a bad spell whatsoever. So they do have counters to the Enigma, but on the side of PSG.LGD, they have the counters to some big spells of Vici Gaming.
I would say the only spell that's probably like better than the glimpse is maybe the X, because you can control the timing on it a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything that can change your positioning is super, super valuable, which is why, you know, Force Stabs are also super popular, really great item.
Yeah, in that game of VP versus EG, they really shined. And let's see, the bounty is being harassed quite a lot by this Bane. The problem with Bane is, the problem for every offlaner that plays against Bane is he's so tanky. You can't really trade hits with him. He also has that
the brain sap,
yeah, the brain sap to work with. So
it's very good to trade. It's been the South American secret for quite a while, was the Bane pickup.
And we see FY now kind of leaving him alone on that offlane. He is building towards Helm of Dominator, so basically what he wants to do is a transition from this laning stage like 5 minutes in, and then with that Centaur or Nursa, whatever he finds, he should start pressuring the Terrorblade quite hard in that lane. Most likely what's going to happen is after he buys that Ring of Health, he's going to also give it to Bounty Hunter so that he can perhaps even trade versus the Bane.
And Ori just going to sap a little bit of damage off of that Death Prophet. Lizard and I were talking about earlier, back when Death Prophet still had that passive, I think it's like Witchcraft or whatever, it used to be super, super fast. Still has the potential to be very swift, but not quite as fast as a Razor, especially not during the laning phase.
She doesn't have the passive any longer, but the item build that you go on her does allow you to be a little bit... it allows you to be just as swifty as before. You buy that Tools, which is also good versus the Vessel that they mentioned in previously in the panel. Yeah, Vessel
doesn't break the link, though.
It doesn't. But you just Tools him and you run away.
That's true. That's true. It does allow him to sap a decent amount of damage for a little while. But again, pretty passive for laning phase right now. DY trying to put some pressure over onto FY. There's a lot of damage, though, coming out from these Eidolons. Has to be careful.
There aren't many supports that can stand like this and run into Eidolons on high ground, honestly.
Absolutely not. Well, it's disrupting the farming a little bit, though, so I guess that's...
He's getting some experience. Also, what's really important when you're playing versus an Enigma is that you cancel a few of these early clarities, if you manage to do that.
X-Nova, the land of magic missile. They've got a lot of stacks of sticky here. They'll bounce them back, and it's going to be first blood.
Gyro does try to turn here, but yeah, it's not possible.
No.
The problem there was X-Nova ran into them while Ame, he had like 5 stacks on him of sticky napalm, so he had to run back. Sticky goop. couldn't really help him.
It's really annoying. It's really annoying to have that much. And again, you know, that's very, very smart on the behalf of Batrider, knowing that you've got so much stacks of sticky, they cannot help the disruptor. And he was quite forward there too, so.
Yeah, Xnova, not the greatest positioning movement from him, honestly. In that last game, he has been dying quite often, but for the greater good. He was dying on purpose so that his team can take good fights. That over there, giving out first blood like that isn't really the best, but it's the position 5 life versus a Batrider. You get caught, you're dead.
5-minute runes come out. DY secures himself for one over on the Radiant side. Should be able to go get the other one. Chalice, he's trying to get over there.
He's trying, but he can't.
He's not going to be able to, no.
He's going to steal some gold and be satisfied with that.
Call it a day.
Yep.
If he could ever catch him. Yeah, they've got the sentry. They know he's there.
Yep. Enigma is carrying that Ring of Health. I'm wondering if he's going to pass it over anytime soon, because that's the only thing that he has in his inventory.
Bottom lane, Ame in for trouble. 4 stacks of sticky. He's got Fairy Fire. Can they make it out in time? They need one more hit. Can they find it? He's out of there. Now Yang has a bottle. He's going to get thrown into the kinetic field here. Just taking a little damage. No, but actually tanking some of that creep damage too, so.
Yeah, he had 10 stick charges, but yeah, not a lot of damage there from him. He didn't have enough mana for another Thunder Strike, so he has to let him go. And the bottle abuse, obviously, coming from Fade once again as soon as he ports into that lane.
And just right on back to farming top lane. Chalice doing the best he can. Has reached up a bit, has a Ring of Health.
Once he reaches level 5, they have to do something about him, as he starts spamming these Janada hits so often versus the Terrorblade that it becomes impossible to farm. It becomes impossible to be sustainable on that lane. You have to leave, you have to go to the jungle or kill the Bounty Hunter. So they should perhaps put some resources into stopping him a little bit, into delaying those levels. But instead...
Yeah, they've got vision over here on DY.
FY knows though, yeah.
Oh yeah. Again, he's got to be careful. Nightmare comes out. They're going to go for the dive, though, over here onto XM. XM caught in the trees, is getting sapped. So much damage right now. Spirit Siphon going to have to pop a Fairy Fire. Still trying to run away. Does have the boots. Yeah. And it looks like they're not going to find anything here. Chalice sitting very, very low here in the top lane, as is the Terrorblade, though. That's the problem happening. DY. DY's actually going to get taken down to tower right now. FY. Can he get away fast? No, or he chases him down.
All that damage, plus 168 damage on that Razor, just takes down Enigma in a few hits. At the same time, Terrorblade has been zoned out completely from the top lane by a solo Bounty Hunter. So you are making these rotations around mid, you are not killing that Prophet, and at the same time Chalice, he has that Ring of Health, he almost has phase boots now too.
Yeah.
And he's just putting so much pressure on the Terrorblade on his own.
Well, you talked about, you know, rotating the Terrorblade off to the jungle, which is something we see fairly common, allowing someone else to come sap some XP from the lane. But you can't really afford to do that. Like you said, with this Bounty Hunter, he's just going to be spamming Donata. He's going to be chasing after, you know, the Terrorblade over in the jungle if he wants, or whoever's unfortunate enough to be in that lane because they're under-leveled. Exactly. You can't really afford to do that. Again, the move over onto XM. Magic Missile comes through, and they'll clean up. TP gets canceled out, or he's just going to focus on that tower.
This time around, they do take down that Prophet, and it's also, I believe, a catapult wave that was there, so they do have some damage on the tier 1, which is really good. But Paparazzi...
Look at this Terrorblade. Paparazzi has Sunder. If he can get up, turns back around. We'll turn around on FY. They find the kill. They'll take down the Enigma, no problem. There's going to be TT changing out here. They've got the rest of Nexova. He's going to get taken out as well. That is a double kill.
Great rotations. Just great rotations by Vici Gaming. All 4 of them are here right now on the top lane, which isn't really great when it comes to splitting resources across the map, but it is good for them because they do take down that Enigma, and they don't let them kill the Terrorblade. Yeah. Basically what happened there is Enigma and Bounty Hunter, they were hoping the Terrorblade does not have Sunder leveled, as that happens quite often. They go without Sunder until like level 8, 9, just to maximize the farming potential in the jungle. But this time around, even on level 6, he already took it. He was smart enough about it. He expected the aggression and he punished them for it. So very well played by Terrorblade.
It's always nice to see players when they adapt to things, you know, and they realize, yeah, there's going to be a lot of aggression coming out. I probably need this, even though it's not typical.
Yeah. And that Enigma has died twice now. That's a position for Enigma that's farming the jungle, which is not going to have a whole lot of impact later on in the game with black holes. So right now you need this farm, you need this Dominator. It's a little bit late, 9 minutes in. It's not perfect timing for a Helm of Dominator on position for Enigma. So he didn't really manage to pressure these lanes quite as much as he usually can. But now it's the time to act. Now it's the time to pressure these towers. You need to play around this Dead Prophet. You can't let XM die any more times. You need his ultimate, you need to be pressuring these tier 1s.
Jack hit the glimpse right back into the arms of Bounty Hunter. Magic Missile gets used by Fade, but he's not going to be able to escape. This Crypt Swarm takes him down.
That's a good kill. They're going to continue hitting that tier 1. And also, one good synergy that PSG.LGD has going for them is this Death Prophet push with the Disruptor. If you want to defend the tower, you need to be there in full force. If you're kind of defending it, you're always going to get glimpsed back like that Vengeful, and you're going to die.
Ame feeling very confident right now, but Fade coming up here. He'll get the lasso off, drag him back through that Firefly. Still alive though. Disruptor going to join the fight, so that's a kinetic field. We'll slow them down just a little. Yang has to move back. They're still looking. Fade, he wants this kill. He wants the Magic Missile. He starts rolling up for it. He doesn't quite have it. He's got to be able to get away and hide over here in the tree line, and they'll take down Paparazzi in the top lane while all that's going down.
Yep. So just perfect execution from PSG.LGD there. They save their core, they save their position 1, and at the same time they take down that Terrorblade on top lane. That Prophet has rotated. He's sick of dying on mid lane. He's making these rotations. Also Enigma came with the Helm of Dominator.
DY.
Level 4 Janada, give me that gold.
Oh, there it is. And just the chase, the glimpse back, right back into that kinetic field, and Chalice. The Reign of Terror has begun with this Bounty Hunter.
That's one poor Bane right now. Just losing all his gold. Level 4 and a quarter, 10 minutes in, it's normal for a position 5. He's gonna buy that tome, be level 6. You will have that grip to work with very soon.
Now this is interesting too. They were able to take the top tower with the Enigma and the Eidolons. They didn't have to use the Exorcism. They still have it if they want to fight. In fact, look at that. You saw the meta get popped here thinking that they were going to go after the tower, but XM shows up and he's got the Exorcism. That's just too scary right now.
The problem is this FY Enigma right now is a hero on his own in this jungle. He doesn't need any help. Buys that Dominator, uses a creep, and just starts pushing in. This creates so much space. Your top lane is always pushed in.
They use a black hole. They have the Eidolons. Is this going to be a kill here? Oh, the Vici wants to do it too. Can they take down Yang? They'll fight it. They get the kill. FY
and what a little Eidolon.
Look at him, his little army.
Yeah, that's it. You have to commit many heroes into killing him.
Oh, the glimpse Fade. These glimpses have been on point right into that kinetic field. Not going to be able to get the kill today.
I believe there's a big issue on Vici Gaming that their supports are very underleveled. You have Vengeful and Bane. They're supposed to be crushing this laning stage. On the other hand, you have this Enigma that's basically a jungling hero, and they're the ones on the aggressive. They're the ones that are creating so much space for their cores. Vengeful and Bane, they have to do a whole lot more at this point.
I mean, don't forget, they have the Terrorblade, baby. This is like the comeback king hero. Seen a Terrorblade take down an entire team 1v5. Of course, that was very late into the game, and I do not think that PSG.LGD will allow them to go that late. But you never know. It's a major. A lot on the line here.
Right. Xnova with that glimpse can definitely take down Paparazzi.
He's got a static storm too. Can't sunder if you can't speak the spells. Mid lane, FY was gonna get just lassoed up, held into place, and Ori's gonna chip him down.
That's funny because I believe that Enigma was baited by the Disruptor there a little bit. He tried to force this tier 1 so that he can maybe get closer to the Disruptor a bit faster, as you can't just run to him. The Disruptor is obviously invisible. If you don't have a smoke, you can't just pass that tier 1 and join him into that gank. So he was kind of being way too aggressive on that tier 1, and he dies for that. It is a support Enigma though, however, so.
Well, the next question is, are they going to be able to grab this Bounty Hunter? So I'm thinking yes. I'm thinking the Fiend's grip comes out. Oh, they've got the Scream Wave of Terror, and yeah, it's just held in place. Yeah, double kill, easy double kill here for
That's
Ori.
very good. They give the double kill to Ori. He's the one that's supposed to create a lot of space for them in this mid game, and with that's a slight little boost.
Glimpse over here. Paparazzi in for some trouble right into the arms of Ame, and Nova. He cannot get that Sunder off. He's out of here.
That kill was so good for them, giving that Gyro a core kill. Gyro, wait, is that a Midas?
He got a Midas.
All right.
I was going to ask you how you felt about that, considering this is a hero that usually, you know, likes to fight, be very active, but it's a bit greedy.
That's
I think, yeah?
very counterintuitive to what every single other gyrocopter does right now. They basically try to fight as soon as possible, as much as possible. Another glimpse.
Glimpse right back. Ori, they don't have the follow-up just yet. They do have the track.
Right, they track the Venge
scare him a little bit. Venge. Fade. They get hit here. Magic Missile comes through.
You can see that Chalice is trying to be as aggressive as possible. But the rest of his team, they're just satisfied with farm. And that's one of the reasons is the fact that Gyro went for that Midas.
Oh, they have the vision now. Chalice, go for the swap. We'll get the silence off. Look at the damage coming out. They'll just take down Fade. And the Glimpse comes right back out into the cage. Has that Yules over here. Gonna buy himself just a little bit more time. Spirit Siphon coming out to go and they'll drop the stun. And now it looks like Ori trying to run himself out. He just have that track on him. He's gonna get taken out. They will be able to take down DY. And now Bat Rider looks like he's in for some trouble. He's gonna try to flap those little owl wings out there fast enough, but they have the net, and he's out of here. They're still not done yet. They find themselves a Bane. He's silenced up, and that's gonna be the end of him.
X-Nova strikes again, time after time. These glimpses. He does not, this guy never tunnel visions, honestly. That's why I respect him so much as a position 5. Just runs past straight all of them. He doesn't care about that Bat Rider. He knows, he believes that his team is gonna take him down. He just goes, yeah, you take care of the Bat Rider, I'm gonna catch some more. And he gets that Bane too. So another bonus skill for them.
He has been on point.
And a tier
Absolutely.
1.
Still a little humble, little disruptor though. Those brown boots, wards.
Well, we've seen what Solo can do with that little humble disruptor if he gets farm, if he goes for that agonist. So in this particular match, he can do a whole lot later on too. Disruptor is just one of those heroes that has multiple power spikes, even as a position 5, if you do allow him to get that farm.
It also helps when you're landing every single one of those glimpses into your kinetic fields, and you've got the rest of your team to back you up. I'm sure that feels pretty good.
I'm not certain. Vici Gaming, they have this super aggressive lineup, which could be pressuring PSG.LGD right now, but every sign of aggression that they've shown was punished severely by the side of PSG.LGD, and they aren't really able to utilize their spells properly.
Oh, Chalice again gets spotted out, dusted up to the silence though. He's going to be able to chase down. Look at this. It doesn't matter because XM comes in and lends a helping hand.
Has Buckler, has drums. He's very difficult to take down right now. If you want to kill this hero, you basically need to use that grip. Or lasso at least. There's no other way. Dust will not save you. He's just going to pop drums, phases. He's going to have 500 movement speed.
Did you see that there's an Ags queued up on this gyrocopter? There's
that's interesting.
Glimpse back coming out here on Young. He's just going to get taken out of the fight completely. They go and they use the exorcism over here. And just like that, that should be an easy tier 2 for them.
Vici Gaming, they aren't really able to do anything about this. You can see there's Bane and Vengeful on their high ground while all of this is happening. Yeah. So they're losing the tier 2, but more importantly, they aren't reacting whatsoever to that aggression. They aren't doing anything across the map. They are crumbling under the pressure of PSG.LGD at the moment. What are they? I guess they're waiting for the BKB on Razor. I guess they're waiting for the next big item on this Terrorblade. That's going to be that Manta. But there's so much magic damage coming from the PSG.LGD. It's at least the smoke. They need to find something. They need...
Oh, they take a wrong turn though here. They could have found
so
Ame.
Unfortunate. Maybe with that ward.
Maybe they'll swing around? No, they're just going further in.
That's so unfortunate.
It's a good idea.
It's a good idea. It's an aggressive movement that they definitely needed, but sometimes
about to wear off. So they'll make their way bottom. They don't have the gyrocopter there right now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Sometimes you just don't get the right runes. Sometimes you miss someone like 100 range away because it's nighttime.
Paparazzi. Yeah, sometimes you get glimpsed back into a static storm. The rest of the side of PSG.LGD just going to be able to take down Terrorblade.
This is
like, it's no big deal. They're still thinking about going in on this. I'm not sure about this. They'll jump over onto Chalice, hoping to maybe get that lasso. We'll be able to grab it. Enigma going to get used up into the air. They'll go throw out the stun. Can they find this kill over here? The swap comes out. They've got the Fiend Script. They'll take down over in the back lines Chalice. Now XM trying to run himself back here as the Spirit Siphon out. Is trying to stay alive, but they'll turn their attention over to Venge. Venge is going to get taken down. They've got the track over to Ori. Ori's going to get hit with a missile, and they're just dead with the glimpse back over onto Yang.
5-man wipe right there.
Oh no.
Vici Gaming, they're just desperately trying to make anything happen in this game, but
why did they go in with the Terrorblade down?
Terrorblade died, but they thought that they had an angle of movement. They were coming from the Radiant jungle, so they thought that they can take the fight, especially considering that Prophet's ulti wasn't up. But PSG.LGD, they win the fight even without the Death Prophet ulti. Yeah. And that's horrible.
Yeah,
that must feel so bad for them at the moment.
They just beeline onto Chalice, and you see that Ori's got his eyes over on the Enigma, trying to sap some damage. They managed to find the kill on that Bounty Hunter, but just everything else starts falling apart as they chase this Death Prophet down.
Yeah, mech wasn't used as well to save the bounty. I think that could have been done a little bit better. The two supports of Vici Gaming, they are not really on point at the moment. They use the grip and the swap on Enigma for some reason, isolating her from the fight, the Enigma from the fight, but at the same time not doing a whole lot more, not helping anyone else.
They have like a sixth sense over here over on the Bounty Hunter. They
Doesn't
just did
matter.
twice, but...
Drums phases and see ya later, boys.
Oh, look at them just chasing him down slowly but surely. They do manage to find themselves a... yeah, they're going to take down X-Nova finally. They've had enough of all these glimpses. FY, he's getting into position. He's going to get the black hole up over onto that. They'll be able to take down the bait. Can they get anything more? But no.
Oh, can they though?
They're going to be able to change their attention over onto XM. Has the Yules. These ghosts are shredding them. Plus the Spirit Siphon. Can they burst them down? That's a triple kill for Ori.
They just killed 4 members of PSG.LGD. PSG.LGD, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that whole fight was about. Using that black hole the way it was used without catching the Terrorblade. At the same time, just coming in way too late with that Death Prophet. Gyro wasn't even ready. He didn't want to commit to that fight. And Disruptor, he just died first. They just ran in to the
I mean, he's been the problem. This Disruptor has definitely been a huge problem for the side of Vici, so if you can...
I believe they were feeling that they're a little bit too strong, so they tried going in one by one there.
That happens.
Yeah, it happens.
That happens when you're in the lead sometimes, but we do have that Blink Dagger picked up now for Batrider, so perhaps the tables will turn here for the side of Vici Gaming.
They definitely needed some sort of initiation, and this is going to allow them to make plays. So far, the only play that they could make is smoke up and hope for the best.
And pray for the best, right.
Pray for the best. Right now, if they smoke up and if they have vision, they can definitely find the right target and take it down, as long as Disruptor isn't close by, as long as he doesn't glimpse you back. That's what they're going to try and do.
That is very difficult.
I think there's BKB now on Paparazzi too. Perfect timing. Blink done on Batrider, BKB done on Terrorblade. Let's go.
No, Chalice. They spot him out. They'll drag him back immediately and just burn him down with that Firefly.
Yeah. Considering that Prophet used her ulti, considering Black Hole was used in that last fight that went horribly wrong for PSG.LGD, this is the time for Vici Gaming to make these movements to just completely dominate the Radiant side of the map. And with that smoke already taking down Chalice, they're doing the right plays.
I mean, that's the issue with coming out from the side of LGD's draft, is the fact that they do have high cooldowns. The Black Hole, of course, has a very high cooldown. Exorcism, that's a medium level, of course, but once those things are down, especially both of them, right, that's the time to strike. That's when you know you've got the upper hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Panel mentioned that before, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be easy, 200 gold, just give it to me. There we go. Who got it? Who got it? I think it was the Vengeful. All right, so getting closer to that, to Vlad's. Utility item that's going to help out the team a bit better.
Okay. Do get the BKB pickup on the Death Prophet now, so not that it's that huge of a deal when you consider all the things that you can break through, but if she gets the Ghost off, she's still going to be creating a lot of mayhem in those fights. Those Ghosts are physical, so the BKB on the Terrorblade is going to protect him from a lot, but...
Doesn't do a whole lot, definitely.
Well, it keeps him from getting glimpsed, right? Every time X-Nova sees him, it seems to be a glimpse into a static
Glimpsed
storm.
or silenced by that Prophet, that BKB was definitely a must.
Oh, Chalice. Again, the swap comes out. Every time he goes for these tracks, they have the Fiend's Grip over here onto him. FY is looking for the position, does have the Black Hole, sits in the bed, but immediately gets lassoed up. Is not going to be able to get it off now. They're trying to burst him down. Paparazzi sitting very, very low himself. He needs to be super careful.
Swap.
We'll just go and sunder his teammate to stay alive here.
Look at these two hiding away from Eidolons. Just kill him. Oh,
this is some spooky Eidolons, man. Yeah, it's gonna hold that. Death Prophet coming through with the Exorcism. That will be able to take down X-Nova, or he's popped his BKB, but we talked about these ghosts. It doesn't matter when it comes down to those spooky, spooky ladies.
Yeah, you called it so well, Moxie, before. There's basically physical damage coming from the Spirit. So even if you BKB and port out, it's not really going to do a whole lot. And I believe that was a 10 seconds BKB coming from Razor, so he's not going to have that very long duration in the next fight.
That's not what you want to be using that for. And that translates into a Roche we talked about.
I don't know if they have enough damage. There is Pain around, and the Spirits should run out quite soon, but yeah, they aren't going to commit, it seems.
Have to be really careful here. That's a really low Roche. A couple bounces with that trap. Chalice just poking him away. Yang is thinking about it.
He's not hit.
Oh, he tries to go for the snatch. He's not going to get it, though. It's still going to get picked up by the Gyrocopter, and unfortunately, Yang, despite being a brave Batrider, is a very dead one.
Yeah. Vici Gaming, I can completely understand why they tried to go into that rush. I understand why Vengeful and Bane were trying to poke and pro them while the Batrider was porting in, as they understand that they have this XM Prophet that used her ulti before, so the spirits aren't going to last for a whole lot, and if we get the team fight, if we maybe manage to snatch the rush, and then take a team fight afterwards, they're not going to have the Death Prophet ulti to work with. So it was the right idea, it just didn't work out very well for them.
And they don't have the exorcism up, but they're still feeling very, very aggressive right now. Been using the Eidolons to push the middle tower. The reaction time every time Chalice does any sort of a track, immediately just at least one dust, if not two, pops out.
Yeah, he's making them waste so much gold with that. Every time you kill this bounty hunter, if you use a dust, that's still some gold lost. If he hits you once or twice with Janada, you're going to be a very poor support throughout the game. You can see this Bane rocking boots and sticks, and 3 sentries, obviously, just to be able to take away the map control from the bounty hunter. But this Midas Aghanim Maelstrom allows Gyro to farm incredibly fast. Plus 40 movement speed, yeah, sure, why not? What a great talent. Movement speed was so underrated for such a long time. Then with these talents, everyone started picking them up and understanding just how good they actually are.
We do see movement here into the Radiant jungle, hoping to maybe get themselves a pick off, maybe force a tower or something.
If you are Vici Gaming right now, you are playing versus Aegis. You don't really want to take a head-on fight with...
Oh, Batrider gonna get caught out here. Those Eidolons doing a lot of damage. Chalice is gonna be...
2 or 3 hits with the Janada too, so Chalice gets a lot. But at the same time, you are pushing this tier 2, and perhaps you can even pressure the high ground a little bit, because you do have Fade behind you. Fade's positioning is very important for Vici Gaming, as he has to be behind these cores, he has to save them with the swap if anything goes wrong. And strategically, Vici Gaming is posturing themselves very well across the map. They are playing versus Aegis, they are playing versus Black Hole versus that Prophet ulti. You don't want to be fighting, even if a Batrider dies somewhere far in his side of the map in the jungle, it's all right. It's not the end of the world. You're buying yourself some more time.
They see him though. He walked underneath a sentry and an Obs, I believe. But
yeah, they saw him. They definitely saw him. They instantly get out. They're just gonna start pushing out the top lane now. This is the game of dodge, nothing more.
And again, we've seen Terrorblades come back from some pretty insane odds. So if they can go long enough, if he can get those talents up, get some farm going. What about this this build coming out from Ame here? How does that scale?
This is the problem. This item build of his is going to allow him to scale incredibly well, considering they did not lose the laning stage and the mid game with it. It's a little bit scary going for Midas Aghanims, because you might lose the mid game, right? As you won't really be as powerful as with some other builds. But he was just able to farm. He was able to fight as well. They were able to win these fights, and he's going to scale incredibly well.
They have a sentry down. They know the Chalice is over here. Ame showing up. We'll go use the lasso, start off the fight by dragging him out. We'll go do the call down. Static Storm comes through here, and they have the BKB. Ori's trying to burst down Ame as fast as he can, and Nova. As X-Nova is going to get taken down, they'll turn, they'll pop that Aegis. Ghosts are going to get committed here. There's a Fiend's Grip coming through. That BKB doesn't matter. And now they need to do more, but the Black Hole was a swap immediately. He's going to be able to turn it around. He's trying to run himself, pops the Greaves, and they're just back up and running. Paparazzi just chasing everybody down right now, hoping that maybe he can grab Ame. The Blink Ward coming out from Yang. They want this. Plasma Field's not going to connect, though. He's a speedy little boat, but they'll settle with Chalice if they can. Can they catch him, though, is the next question. He's pretty fast right now.
Drums.
Still chasing them, slowly but surely. Blink comes off cooldown. Yang will burn him down.
That's massive for them. They basically take down 4, as they did take down the Aegis away from the Gyro. So you take a clean fight versus the Aegis. You kill off the Aegis, the Dead Prophet, even though she used that ulti, so...
She used the BKB, too.
I think they need some save for her. They need some force stats. You need to get away from this Terrorblade, as he is massive at the moment.
Well, I mean, it's tough. You know, she's got the BKB, but if you've got a Fiend's Grip on you, you're not going anywhere.
That glimpse was used to save the gyro. I think maybe if they saved the glimpse for the grip instead, that would have been a little bit better from the X-Nova, but I understand why he used it to save the gyro. However, Razor played that really well. He just linked the gyro and continued chasing him.
Oh boy, they found Ame. They're gonna drag him up over to the high ground over by the shrine, and they're just gonna hold him in place and burn him down. That was also a BKB, and now the sleep coming out over here. Oh, X-Nova, you can't run from this. They're gonna just chase you down.
Vici Gaming.
Beautiful.
Well, not only Vici Gaming, they positioned themselves well, obviously, defensively, but at the same time, PSG.LGD, Gyro is moving right next to the cliff, right next to the shrine, and he's playing versus a bad
Uh-oh,
Chalice.
Chalice is the Yules. He's gonna just try to run himself away, gets the track off, and it's gonna live to fight another day here. And all of a sudden, Vici Gaming.
All of the sudden, Vici Gaming, that item build that you asked about, the item of the Gyro, it does allow him to farm really well. It does allow him to scale, but Vici Gaming, they decided now is the time to fight. We have the Blink Daggers, we have the BKBs, we're not gonna wait for that critical mass of yours.
They're so strong, they don't have the Exorcism over on the Death Prophet, you don't have Black Hole. Yeah, they're scary on the side of PSG.LGD, but they're not as scary as they could be right now. Silence gets used over on 2 heroes. Yeah, we'll get thrown into that kinetic field and the static storm. They just don't care. Paparazzi walks right out the glimpse. Nope, BKB comes out. He says, not today. Now Ori probably needs to go home now.
He's very fast. Oh!
He's out.
Yeah, he had just enough.
Oh, BKB getting popped by Yang though too. They're going to be able to slow him down, but they're not going to be able to get him. Where?
They have absolutely no disables.
They have nothing.
Besides the Black Hole against that BKB TP out, so because of that, it's very simple for Vici Gaming to disengage. They took that Rax down bottom, and they should be satisfied by the...
I'd say they're satisfied. All of a sudden, they're hitting their timings. Haystring available top. Chalice gonna do some poking over here. Needs to be careful every time that he has gone near them. The glimpse right back again on Batright. He just blinks out. Not today.
I think Chalice is instrumental for the side of PSG.LGD right now. The way he plays.
Bane's gonna get taken down here.
All right, they take down the Bane, but it's not the end of the world for Vici Gaming. It's just a position 5 again. If you lose anyone, it's always the best to lose that hero, right? It's very important for Chalice to be as aggressive as possible, to poke and pro them so much that they have to use either a lasso or grip on him, as that's going to allow the Gyro and the Dead Prophet to do something in these team fights.
Right.
He has to be the one that dies. He needs to be the sacrificial lamb, I believe, for the side of LGD. There's a butterfly now completed on the Terrorblade. They do have a lot of magical damage, but they need this MKB. I believe they have to wait for it. They need the MKB on the Gyro before the next fight. They need a way to answer this Terrorblade's damage output.
Feels like they're being a little bit antsy though too. They know that they've got this Black Hole. They've got their ultimates up, right? You've got the big things.
And they got the MKB instantly. Why not? When you have these basically 3 items that allow you to farm this fast, you get the MKB in a matter of minutes.
Right. This is big plays right here coming out from Vici. They're hoping to maybe get a pick, and then Roche is going to be up in 10 seconds, Lizard.
Yeah, and they caught, if they manage to catch that Gyrocopter who has just recently purchased the MKB, he's not going to have a buyback. That doesn't have to be Roche, that could be game right there. You have this Terrorblade. Terrorblade pushes incredibly fast. Oh, Enigma is actually going into Lincoln's. It's going to be a very difficult Black Hole.
Smoke on smoke. They're going to be going up onto the high ground, though. That's
XM.
It pops, you know, someone's there. And immediately the meta, there's going to be the BKB, and they've got the Lotus Orb here. We'll go and throw him out with the... They go and they grab the lasso, though, on the back end. They really want to take down my Black Hole comes out, though, from F1. It's beautiful. It's going to be able to take that Fate almost immediately. He's going to have to buy that Greenskin pop. Now Paparazzi, he's got to get himself away. He needs to look for someone to get that Thunder off on. And now FYO is a beautiful Black Hole. But is he going to live? Is he going to make it out? He's running. He blinks out. Oh, what a player.
All right, they use the Black Hole, though, and it's only the best rider that they have killed. But the meta has been committed, which is huge. Oh, all right, they're vengeful with the buybacks.
They got some buybacks.
Of course, the 2 buybacks on the supports.
FY, man. We talked about that, you know, how hard it was going to be an Enigma in this game, but this guy's positioning.
They just got a little bit baited by the Dead Prophet, who just ran onto that high ground. And instantly the FY follow-up with that Black Hole just obliterated these 2.
Oh, Ame, the swap comes out. Oh no, Ame is going to gonna get taken out immediately. Mount Doom, they just follow up over on FY2.
They're playing in such an aggressive way with their gyrocopter. They don't have the black hole. They have 0 saves for him. He should not be doing that.
Roche is
Bounty
up.
Hunter should be doing that. And now, because of the kill, Roche is completely free. 70 seconds without the gyro, and they should know that he has no buyback. They should know that he just purchased that MKB. That's Aegis cheese too.
That's Aegis cheese. There's not going to be a black hole to set up this fight this time for the side of LGD. Do you have the exorcism? So the jump forward though, coming out from Batrider. They want to see if they can just burst down immediately. Magic Missile going to get reflected back. They've got the BKB over onto XM. He's going to try to run himself out. They'll turn attention again, the swap with the Yules. Buying a little bit more time, but it's just cat and mouse right now. There's good Magic Missile. They just take him out. There's no XM. Does have buyback, does have exorcism. Not the end of the world.
Yeah, his buyback is definitely going to be forced here. You got
the cheese on Terrorblade, or sorry, not on the Razor. You've got the Aegis on Paparazzi. This is not looking good for LGD.
Even without that metamorphosis, they push just way too fast.
That's all FY can do.
This is the problem. If you buy back right now, your gyro is still dead. It's going to be absolutely useless. They're still going to take your Raxes. Perhaps... Nah, they're... Okay, so Vici Gaming is...
Oh, the Glimpse. Glimpse back on Paparazzi.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Vici Gaming is going to be disciplined. They're going to move back. They still need that tier 2 on the top lane to take down first. They're going to take down all the shrines first and then fight.
I want to see what this graph looks like after like the early game. Look at that.
Yeah,
oh man, we're right back to being about even after all of this.
Vici Gaming with only 1k.
Ooh. The swing. It's not over till it's over.
We need some massive black hole from FY. That I believe that's their winning potential right there.
Scotty just got picked up on Terrorblade. This game got a lot harder now.
It became a lot harder as well, as that Prophet isn't going to be able to joke around in these fights. XM, he's not going to be able to just run in and create space for FY to get a good black hole off, as that Scotty is just going to slow him down.
Okay.
He's going to fall.
Just letting Paparazzi know he knows he's there. They just have so much control right now with Vici. Wave of Terror, trying to do some scouting. Chalice just throws out that track again. They're just gonna siege.
Yeah, the catapults.
They've got Black Hole back up again though. All eyes on FY now. Chalice trying to bait out a little bit. Do use the dust. Doesn't quite connect over here.
This is very important. Chalice, just go in, bait something out, then follow up with the black hole. You cannot use that Prophet to do the same thing any longer. That Scotty is just way too much damage.
Oh, the second that FY shows his face, though, look at all of the stuff he's got to go up against, Lizard.
That's right,
It's terrifying. Look at that, Kang. Getting ready. He's going to be able to go grab himself the gyrocopter. Immediately, Lotus being thrown out. They're going to try to chase him down. Paparazzi pops him meta. He's going to go right after him. He's going to take him down immediately. And now, Chalice is trying to throw some tracks out. Have a grip over here on the back end, though. It's not looking for Death Prophet. She's going to get taken out, too. She does not have Exorcism. She has buyback. No Exorcism. Gyrocopter, he buys back as well. They still are just full force right now on Vici Gaming. The run in here. They're going to try to take him down. They do have that Static Storm doing a decent amount of damage on Paparazzi. But again, Black Hole comes out from FY. Will be able to pop the Aegis. He'll be able to also take down Ori. He's coming right back up again. Can he fight his way out here, though? No, it's going to have to run himself out. Does have that BKB. Yang still sitting nearby if he needs to. It's going to get glimpsed back. It's a lot of damage. He never even does it. It's a triple kill going out for Ame, as now the rest of the side of Vici Gaming forced to run themselves away. This Bane's trying to get out as fast as he can, but he's not going to be able to make it, I don't think. Missile coming through. And that's an ultra kill, and they're not even done. Yang trying to run himself into the pit. They had the Spirit Siphon, forced himself away, juking away from the Death Prophet. Silence does land, but not before he can get the Firefly. Oh, look at FY, he wants this.
He's creating so much space, though. They aren't pushing in mid. And because of that, I don't believe they're going to gain a lot more than gold. They're not going to force any buybacks. Remember, Gyro had to buy back in that fight. That Prophet had to buy back in that fight. I just have to say, XM, he bought back. Yeah, he doesn't have that Exorcism, but he is the reason they won that fight. SE just ran past everyone in front, and he silenced. You can see him here. He buybacks, he runs straight next to these guys, and he silences the Vengeful and the Bane there. Okay, not the Vengeful, just the Bane, but there is nothing to stop that
Right.
Black Hole instantly afterwards. They take down the Razor, they take down the Terrorblade as well.
It was like a whole separate fight on the second end here, like as she chased after the Batrider, and then they could put all of their attention then over onto Paparazzi.
Yeah, and Gyrocopter was just standing on his high ground and hitting all of them. Meanwhile, the Rexes are falling on the mid lane. You can't force any buybacks if there are none. There's only the Razor with it. This game is just so
I was about to say,
back and forth right now.
This is only game 2 right now. Can you imagine? Like later on, look at that.
Are you saying we're gonna see a game 3 already?
I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't be adverse to it with the way these teams are playing. This has been hype Dota 2. Sure, our crowd wouldn't mind it either. But we shall see. Man, FY's black holes too.
He has that Lincolns. He's going for the Aghanims actually. That's very... Alright, very interesting considering you're playing versus so many heroes that can break your black hole even though you have the Lincolns.
But maybe it's just the chaos, right? The chaos of having to target, because if one of those spells goes down, that's one less spell that can control and lock down your cores, right?
Yeah, and his teammates are always helping him out, baiting out those big spells, so can be helpful.
And then just having all that damage, you know, you place down the Midnight Pulse, and then you have the Ags on top of it with more damage. Because he's the one who's like getting, like they need to burst them down fast enough. That's
honestly, there's Etterlance on Vengeful. How do you get a good black hole any longer? Like, how do you catch
hope that
anyone?
she swaps you, and then they have, because you have the Lincolns, you hope that they use another spell on you, or that they're taken so aback that they weren't you know. You never know. The heat of battle, man.
So far, they remained very calm in these battles.
Oh, there's a double damage here in this bottom rune spot.
Bottom shrine has fallen.
Razor with that Satanic finish, so tanky. I can't really blame Enigma. I can't really blame FY for trying to get that percentage-based bonus damage with the Aghanims.
Very patient on the side of Vici Gaming right now.
Vici Gaming, they were postured super aggressive just before that team fight. They knew that this game is in their hands, but they got repelled from that high ground push. And right now they aren't really feeling the same. You know, you have a little bit of doubt in you, so you're just waiting them out. You're waiting to see what LGD's move is. If they go off of their high ground, Batrider instantly strikes and catches one target, especially with this Invis rune that he has right now.
He's found some really good pickoffs this game too.
You can see them just strategically playing it really well, but very disciplined on the side of Vici Gaming. You can see that ROTK is probably just mad at them, and they're a little bit afraid to do any more mistakes.
I'm not even on the team, and I'm afraid of ROTK. Yeah. Even when they win, still get a smack upside the head.
So they're just gonna stick around this rush, perhaps ward it up, wait for it to respawn. Better to be safe than sorry, obviously. But PSG.LGD, they also have a really good teamfight potential around the rush pit. The problem for them, however, is the fact that there are two lanes constantly pushing in, and these super mega creeps are just gonna give vision all the time to Vici Gaming, and it's gonna be a little bit difficult for PSG to just run out of their base and take a fight anywhere else but on their high ground. Yeah, that double damage bottle feels so good.
They've got a full Satanic on the Razor. This is very spooky stuff for the side of LGD. Very neck and neck game too, only about 1K difference.
It's about what these heroes do with that network, right? On one side, it's very defensive postured, Enigma with Lincolns, whatnot. On the other side, it's all into the aggressiveness and the damage because it wasn't necessary for them to itemize defensively in that way, as they have these heroes that save them on their own. You have the Vengeful with the swap, you have the sleep.
FY. No one's in the vicinity. Should be able to get that. All right, there's the Axe pickup. They're so postured over here. This has got to be so scary. Oh my god. Oh, and they find themselves a target. We'll get the glimpse off, but they've got the BKB. There's a black hole coming up from FY. He'll be able to hold them in place for so long, but now Inverse of Triple Ame coming through. He's going to be able to burst it. No, he's not going to be able to. Ame's going to be a soldier. He's going to be taken out. They go and they drop the stairs there. They've got the BKB over on the Death Prophet. She's trying to make as much cash as she can, trying to just stay alive, trying to put out damage, trying to take down anything, and she can't. GG gets called. We're getting a game 3.
What a great way to start the day with first series going the third game, honestly.
The hype is real.
The hype is
so real. Oh my goodness.
Vici Gaming not giving up whatsoever, even after having such a rough time in that laning stage. They waited for their items. They itemized properly this time around. They didn't mess around with any Midases or something like that. They itemized completely in utility and in the right way to just hit those peaks early on and punish that gyrocopter for going the